If somebody said free Palestine, they were very clear. You use words, we use guns. They said this to us repeatedly. We know that on one of the prison boats, as people were being brought into the open space, they were held in groups of 2 or 3 with about 5 commandos, brutalizing them, one by one, as people were entered into that container. We know on just one of the boats, in one of the sections, there were at least 15 cases of sexual assaults that have been reported so far. There were over 30 broken bones, broken clavicles, broken ribs. We have people on their way to the hospital right now needing urgent care that was denied to them by the IOF. Repeatedly, as has happened before, we called for medical attention and they ignored us every time. It is unacceptable, and we need to make sure we are very clear that what we experienced was a tiny percentage of what Palestinians in Israeli prisons experience every single day.
This is Israel. This is what the depraved, genocidal Israeli supremacist project has become. This is not the isolated behavior of one rogue official of one extremist faction. Ben-Gvir is not an anomaly or an aberration. He is the grotesque culmination of a culture that has normalized brutality, supremacism, humiliation, depravity, and open dehumanization of Palestinians. Half of the West is now doing the performative outrage at the side of this video, but they knew exactly what this machinery of violence has been doing to Palestinians for decades. Gosh, we have a whole genocide streaming on 4K for well over 2.5 years and still going on. The abuse, the torture, the rape, the degrading treatment of Palestinian hostages. These accusations and testimonies have existed for decades and have repeatedly been documented by numerous victims, serious journalists, human rights organizations, many UN organizations, human rights organizations, including Israeli human rights organizations like B'Tselem, and even some Israeli IDF whistleblowers.
We've already had reports of at least 15 sexual assaults, at least 30 broken bones, concussions, broken clavicles, broken ribs. And the reality is that we know this is nothing compared to what Palestinian people face every single day.
I was immediately grabbed by 5 IDF or police officers, Israeli police officers. They put my head down and started beating me. One of them had gloves on with hardened plastic, and he started punching my face and swelled shut.
We have been beaten, every single one of us has been beaten with electric shocks. We have all over our body bruises. Many people have broken ribs. Many people cannot go. And then after that, they went us to prison, and it was the most barbaric experience I have ever lived.
And when I saw Ben-Gvir passing us by when we were bringing protest at Ashdod Port, I did not want to stay silent in the face of everything that he has done that is absolutely horrific to the Palestinian people. So raised my voice and said free Palestine, and immediately there was a very rough crackdown and I was dragged away into isolation.
The world has already seen videos exposing horrifying abuses, including the filmed rape of a Palestinian prisoner by Israeli prison guards. An incident after which some in Israel publicly rallied in defense of the perpetrators. Imagine that. Defending the rapist and celebrating them as heroes. That alone should have shattered forever the myth of any morality or decency as far as the Israeli security infrastructure or the state is concerned. So spare me the full outrage.
But I just got out of Israeli prison, but it was like a mixture of like a concentration camp on a boat. And then we got transferred to Kitzia prison again, where I had been before. But this time it was just magnitude worse. It's hard to explain. I saw people shot point blank with rubber bullets. I can't feel my hands because they're all scarred up, because they would take the cuffs and they would like yank my hand over and over again. Kick me in the ribs like more times than I can count. I passed out at least one time. I was a bit nauseous. And then that's just my story. Like, I had countless other horrifying, worse. Very clearly, the Israeli guards were getting very, like, obvious pleasure from hurting us as much as they possibly could. And the very narrow time frame was they were allowed to do so. I mean, we were detained for a less amount of time, but I think that actually increased the amount of violence that was inflicted upon us in that short amount of time before we were released. It was just like pure escalation until the moment we were let go. Up to including where, like, as we were being put on the bus. They put us back into really tight cups for 7 hours, 8 hours. We had to travel in order to take a flight from here.
This full outrage we are seeing from Western leaders now is not because the cruelty is a new discovery. It is because this time the brutality was impossible to hide, impossible to sanitize, impossible to spin for Western audiences. Previous flotilla activists that were taken hostage by Israel have described severe abuses and sexual assaults. Anna Letke, a 25-year-old German journalist and activist, revealed the horrific sexual assault and mistreatment she endured in the Israeli captivity after being seized in the international water by the IDF.
I do not want to talk about it just to put the focus on myself, because it is nothing personal, it is nothing individual, and it's nothing that I should be ashamed about. We were transferred from one prison to another, and during the strip searches, I was raped.
Many other previous flotilla activists have shared similar stories. The world knows this. We have all seen it. We've heard their stories. The West knew it. They just ignored it. This is what our American tax dollars and Western protection have continued to sustain and shield from accountability. A system that much of the world now knows as morally degenerate, perpetuated by rancid, depraved, lawless maniacs consumed by extremism, like Ben-Gvir and Prime Minister Netanyahu. In the meantime, the U.S. government, through the whistling sycophant Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, has sanctioned 4 of the organizers of the Gaza Freedom Flotilla. Think about that for a second. We are sanctioning human rights activists on behalf of Israel, the very state that is carrying out these horrors on those same activists on 4K.
The activists were arrested at sea in a coordinated military action before being brought to detention in Israel. Malcolm Ducker, a former fighter pilot, is among this group. His daughter, Claire, watched in shock.
The video, I felt physically sick, and I had to call a friend to help counsel me through before I could finish watching it. Well, first off, say we're incredibly proud of him. Certainly is risky. And despite that, despite knowing the risk to their personal safety, these people sail. And they sail because their humanity, their love for humanity is so deep, deeper than their rage against the world.
Free Palestine!
Activists have complained of being beaten and humiliated. Some are considering legal action. Ben-Gvir is famous for provocative, unapologetic extremism, but this time was different.
History will not only judge those who carried out these horrific acts, it will also judge those who watched, funded, justified, and enabled them while pretending not to see the horrors being unleashed on the Palestinians, and now even to Western activists that were taken hostage from international waters.